Some people ever like early and waiting.
I know, it's kind of weird, yeah. Well, it's 6:30.
In your mouth or something.
Well, welcome, everyone. We're going to start the meeting. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Director Hodges,
Here.
Director Rosen,
Here.
Director Hatcher,
Here.
Director Lamnan. Here. President Andrade.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce the volunteer of the month. If staff would go ahead.
Good evening, President Andrade and Honorable Board of Directors. My name is Deb Varner. I'm Recreation Coordinator 2 over Nature, and I'm excited to speak on item 4.1, our 2025 February Volunteer of the Month. Let's see. All right. Janie Rippish is being recognized as the February 2025 Volunteer of the Month. Janie is a dedicated and passionate volunteer from Sulphur Creek Nature Center. Janie has been an enthusiastic volunteer in Sulphur Creek's Animal Care Department since February of 2017, contributing over 1,300 hours of service. She assists with feeding the resident birds and cleaning their enclosures. She has an exceptional rapport with all of the animals. Janie has gone above and beyond by volunteering during holidays and stepping in as a substitute whenever needed. Janie's commitment and skill have made her a valuable asset to the team. Janie's long-term dedication is evident not only through her work with staff, but also with the entire volunteer crew. She has become a beloved member of our community, and her cheerful presence on Monday mornings is always a highlight. Janie is one of our first volunteers to arrive each day and always checks in with staff for any animal updates before diving into her tasks. She is thorough in her work and communicates effectively about the animal's needs and well-being, providing invaluable insight that supports the staff's ability to provide high-level animal care and enrichment. Her dedication shines both in her actions and the positive energy she brings to the team. The Sulphur Creek staff is proud to honor Janie Rippish as our Volunteer of the Month for February 2025.
And thank you very much, Deb. And I would like to thank Deb and Isabel and Lori and the rest of the Sulphur Creek staff for all the effort that they put in to keep the mission of taking care of these animals going. It's not easy, but it's really good having them there to work for. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. We'd like to take a photo if you.
Thank you. Oh, wow, thank you. Thank you.
All right, I'm sure you guys get a little closer together. All right, we're gonna smile at me. And we'll take a couple, ready. Perfect, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Keep up your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing.
I'll remember. I'll remember. I'll write it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, nature guys, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks again. Second item is introduction of new employees. It gives me pleasure to have two new employees to welcome.
Great. Thank you so much. Good evening, President Andrade and Honorable Board of Directors, Adrian Lee Bird, Recreation, Arts and Community Services Director. So we have two new employees in our department. The first is Erin Lucas. She is a supervisor for aquatics. Erin joins HARD as our new recreation supervisor for aquatics. Prior to joining HARD, she was at the University of San Francisco Corrett Health and Recreation Center, where she worked her way up and was promoted to an aquatics manager. During her time at Corrett Center, Erin set operating standards for all of the aquatic programs, hired and supervised over 160 students and employees, oversaw in-house staff trainings and certifications, and managed routine pool maintenance. Her former supervisors noted that Erin made everything better and fostered relationships through effective processes and tools. Her peers touted Erin's commitment, dedication, and her positive influence both in and out of the pool. Additionally, her peers acknowledged Erin's ability to teach in a nurturing technique that builds self-confidence, being in the water, whether it's with a student or an athlete. Every Sunday, Erin continues to coach and teach aquatics to all ages, including 18-month-olds. Having been a competitive swimmer herself, Erin also works with highly competitive swimmers on their stroke techniques. We're thrilled to have Erin join our Recreation, Arts, and Community Service team at HARD. Erin, do you want to come up and say something?
There we go. Hi, Honorable Board. My name is Erin Lucas, and I'm just really excited to be here. You know, HARD does good work, and I'm super excited to be in this role to begin with, and then also just serving and supporting this community in a passion and a way that, excuse me, I love, you know, through aquatics. So thanks.
Okay, and our next new employee is Sabrina Bedford. She's our new Program Leader 3 in Arts and Cultural Events, working with Alice, who couldn't be here tonight. Sabrina, prior to joining HARD, Sabrina was at the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, where she worked her way up and was promoted to Art in the Parks Program Manager. During her time at this nonprofit organization, Sabrina managed dozens of public art installations and special events at locations such as Alcatraz. You might have seen the Ai Weiwei exhibit, Crissy Field, Fort Point, Land's End, and Marin Headlands. Sabrina received her master's degree from Academy of Art University in 2022 and pursued freelance work, creating book designs, animations, illustrations, and more for various clients. Her former supervisors praised Sabrina for being innovative and thoughtful. Sabrina embodies the blended passion between arts and parks. One of her supervisors described Sabrina as unassuming, as she carried out a lot of responsibilities, and it was impressive with how much was accomplished behind the scenes. As a talented artist herself, her clients touted Sabrina's 2D and animation work as top-notch, and many compliments have been received about her work. In her spare time, Sabrina enjoys spending time with her family and working on her own creative projects like painting and drawings. We're thrilled to have Sabrina join our rec team. You want to come up?
Yeah, thank you, Adrian. Good evening, Honorable Board. I'm super honored and excited to be joining the team. I think art and parks belong together. I think the work you guys do here is incredible. I'm excited to contribute and learn more about what you all do. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm just thrilled to be here. So thank you.
Board
Welcome.
of Directors, please contain yourselves.
Yeah.
Because this is something we've been looking for a long time, so we're very happy.
Great. You know, I have you.
Couple pictures, yeah, let's hear Aaron first.
Or
We're gonna do my staff and the new employees while they get their pins, please.
okay.
Come on up. Put it on your wall.
The new way.
The new year.
Yes. We should get a picture in our first little plaque. Yes. Great. Build a plane and we fly.
Have you guys get a little closer together, and we're gonna look at me, ready, 1, 2, 3. Oh, hold on. Let's try it again. My phone decided to turn live, okay, you're good.
Lonnie and Sabrina. Murals, what do you know about murals?
I know quite a bit about it.
Oh.
Be careful, if you ask questions, careful how you ask.
Way to try to keep that secret from you there, Adrian.
All right, are we ready? Everybody to look at me? Perfect, thank you.
We forgot to tell Aaron too, you need a big roll of duct tape and a lot of baling wire,
Yeah.
cause you work at plunge.
Some bubble gum duct
Oh,
tape.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your best friend's gonna be Diane right there, she's gonna fix it all for you. Or at least what needs to be fixed.
Okay.
You got to fix you, or you can. You will not offend us if you leave. At all. And thank you for coming, Nick.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. See you guys.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for sharing her with us. You guys should go to Casa.
Okay. The next item is public comments for matters not otherwise listed on the agenda. Is there anyone here or online for public comments?
We do not have anyone online for public comments.
Okay. Dispense with that. Okay, we're going to the consent calendar. I understand there's some items that the board wants to pull. So do I have questions or anything?
I'd like to find out.
Can you press the button?
You could just let us know which item number you'd like to pull, please.
I'd just like to make a comment about it. Would that be
If you
pulling
want
it?
to speak to an item on the list, you have to pull it, Director Hodges.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Pull 6-4 and 50.
6-4 and which one?
6-4 and 5-0. Oh, no, that's the page number. It's 6-5.
Okay, items 6-4 and 6-5. So you're making a motion to accept everything except items 6-4 and 6-5. Does anyone else have any items to pull?
I'll second that.
Moved by Director Hodges and seconded by Director going out here, Peter Rosen.
Okay,
Director
Carol.
Rosen. Okay. So with that, please vote. A motion carries unanimously. Okay. And then Director Hodges.
Okay, on this is a comment because I know for sure Councilman Serino with City of Hayward is going to be extremely happy about Spring Grove and the Mount Eden Court.
Okay, great.
Vote on that one then. Is there any more comments on it? You want to vote on that? Do them one at a time. The ones that are pulled, we'll vote on one at a time.
Okay.
Okay, I'll move.
I'll second 6-5.
Okay. Motion for
6-4.
motion for 6-4. It was moved by Director Rosen and seconded by
Hodges.
Director Hodges and seconded by Director Hatcher. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. And then, item 6.5.
6.5 question for Nicole. On the package, do we have cameras at all?
Dear Honorable Board of Directors, we do have cameras. Our cameras on site are a different vendor. This vendor strictly does all of the alarms that are in the facilities. And also the big cost here is the fire alarms. So all of the fire monitoring and alarms that are done through the buildings, including the commercial kitchens. That's what this contract is for. Yeah, repairs. There's additional repairs, installations, and for some reason, the batteries need to be replaced. But the camera system is Verkada, and that's the cameras that are here at the district. And your entry from your phones and your passes, that's the Verkada camera system.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ms. Rowe, I'm wondering if at some point we could maybe put together like a spreadsheet of the locations with cameras.
Sure.
Maybe the locations and the number of cameras, just so we have an idea of the size and scope of that, because I know we just finished adding like 2 or 3 more sites you approved about 7 months ago. They've been working on it, but I think it'd be good to have an overview, and then maybe you could look at that and see if you identify any gaps or any place we think, well, have we ever thought of having one wherever?
I think there's a question by Director Hatcher.
Yeah, just question on this contract for this current year is 96,000. I believe the next year is like a 106. What was the prior? I mean, has it gone up drastically? And
Yeah, so the contract, we're in a 5-year contract with them. It goes up anywhere from 7 to 10%, and there's not like a clear rhyme or reason. When I went back and looked, it's about 7 to 10% per site per year. And so that's where you're seeing the increase. We did budget $96,000, and the reason we did that was for any repairs or anything. So the hope is to stay underneath that number, and then project based on the increase for next year.
And I think the gist of what happened here is basically we entered into a 5-year contract with no idea that these escalating costs would get above my annual authority.
Yeah.
So they crept over. And for this year, we're getting ready to approach it creeping over. So we just wanted to bring it to you and have you just approve the length of the contract. Hopefully there'll be savings. I think these numbers are worst case scenarios.
still getting the prior contract number. I don't need exact. I mean, was it like in the 70s?
I think we started at like 68 maybe.
Yeah, it went over 75.
Yeah, 68 or might even the first year, this is the second year, the first year might even been lower, might have been like 53 or something as I recall. But those are off my head. We can get you real numbers if you want.
Yeah, I just, I mean, I totally trust you guys in the process. I mean, that's not any question about that, but just, all these type of, everything goes up and I just always kind of want to know, what the reasoning or if there's any.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I think Bay Alarm, this is probably a supply demand, how busy they are type issue, how much business they have. And I think they're just, their whole corporate is escalating. The cost to monitor is escalating. I'm sure phone lines and all the stuff they use is escalating. So here we are.
Thank you.
Well, no, I have a question. So how many years left on this contract?
It's a 5-year contract. I think we're in year 3. Is that right? Yeah, we're in year 3.
And so we'll have an opportunity to bid in 2 more
We'll
years.
send it out again. I don't know if you recall, but I think, Adrian, were you in charge of the alarms when we did it, or was I? I might have been still. It might have been like Nicole and I working this out, but we didn't have a lot of companies that are large enough to deal with the volume of the,
Yeah.
how many facilities you estimate? About 45 or 50 or something. Probably more than. We have over 50 facilities, so we're a very large client of theirs, which I have reminded them on more than one occasion. But I also think it's hard to find a company that has the size and ability to monitor all of the systems that we have across between the fire alarms in every building, the alarms in every building, and then the park structures and the yards, and who knows? Do you know how many?
Yes,
No.
we have,
But
we have-
maybe Dan has the answer.
we have 40 alarm panels and 16 fire panels across the district.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those companies are merging, so there's less competition. So that's the other
Big
problem.
alarms.
Yeah.
These guys, like I said, we RFP'd thinking we were gonna find someone who could be maybe more responsive and a better, and I will tell you, they're a reputable company, they're a big company, they're challenging sometimes, to be very honest, and I'm not saying anything I haven't told them before.
Thank you. Did you care a motion to vote?
I'll move 6-5.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Director Hatcher, second by Director Hodges. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, item 7, written communications, none. Written communications, none. Public hearings, none. Unfinished business, 9.1. Construction services for Arroyo Swim Center.
Testing, mic 2.
Good evening, Board of Directors. President Andrade, I'm Diane Hardy, Bond Project Manager, and I would like to ask the Board of Directors to consider acceptance of the work performed under contract to National Aquatic Services, Inc. for the construction of the high-efficiency pool equipment replacement at Arroyo Swim Center located at 15701 Lorenzo Avenue in San Lorenzo, California. In May 2024, construction contract for these services was awarded to National Aquatic Services for the total bid price of $547,231.28. That's $547,231.28. Due to an extremely long procurement period and the cycle time to get permit approval, National Aquatic Services started installation of the equipment in December 2024. They concluded installation in January 2025 to accommodate the desire to start training for the aquatics program at San Lorenzo High School. This is due to an extremely high-performing contractor, and we have been appreciative of their efforts and services to the district in general and specifically on this project. Following acceptance of this project, the general manager and staff will record the notice of completion with the Alameda County Recorder's Office and release the balance of the project retention owed to National Aquatic Services, unless any liens or stop notices have not been cleared. But currently, the district has no record of any existing liens or stop notices on the project. There are currently sufficient funds in the CIP to close the Arroyo Swim Center Mechanical Improvements Project. And so staff recommends that the Board of Directors by motion adopt the resolution authorizing the general manager to accept completion of the construction contract for the Arroyo Swim Center Mechanical Improvements Project.
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
I've got one.
Okay, Director Hodges?
Let's see, I guess we got Sunset and
Plunge.
just the two. Does Sunset look anything as close? This is a thing of beauty.
Do you like that? The Sunset project was approved last year,
Mhm.
and we did a similar remodel. You'll notice that Sunset has one pool, Arroyo has two.
Mm.
So it's nearly a third again as large in terms of pool volume capacity. The equipment was generally about twice the size of what we installed in Sunset. And they just did a remarkable job of cross-disciplinary installation. That is plumbing, pipe fitting, electrical, controls, civil construction, and then they did include some of the pipe enlargement that fed the new mechanical room. So there's a lot of work in 2 months.
Miss Hardy, was Arroyo with two pools, was it two systems? Or one system turned into two?
No, the
Now?
systems are still conjoined.
Oh, they are still conjoined?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, good job. It's not very common anymore.
Well, it sure looks like you came out of the dark ages on this one.
The operations staff really appreciates the speed with which the pool now heats. It used to take 2 weeks, and now it heats in a matter of days.
So the goal was to get the high school swim team in there because high school swimming started last week. So I appreciate your working to make that happen. They didn't have a season, I think, last year for a couple of reasons. One of them, the situation of the pool. One of them, I think, was insurance requirements. But so it's nice to see. So now Castro Valley, Sunset, Arroyo, all of our older outdoor seasonal pools have been rebuilt. They're gonna last another 20 years probably. And the next thing we'll do was, now that this is finished, we'll work on trying to schedule the renovation and system improvements at the plunge, because we'll have the outdoor pools functional and able to stay warm in the winter for people in the fall and spring or whenever we do that work. So, and I gotta tell you, Diane's becoming quite the pool expert.
Great. Director Rosen?
So, just for clarity, how long was this expected to take?
Their contract was awarded in May of 2024. We expected the equipment delivery to take about 16 weeks. Their contract expires in May of 2025.
I was just thinking because they were super fast. I just wanted to mention, I mean, they basically came in.
Yeah.
I was trying to get it on the
You
record.
you
that they-
emphasized exactly the right point. So by virtue of our request to expedite delivery, they took 3 months off the schedule.
That's great.
Director Hatcher?
Is there projected, I mean, it's called a high efficiency heating system. I mean, without, exact numbers, is projected to save us in like money electrically or electricity and heating costs overall?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna throw
Yeah,
the high efficiency, low NOx heater savings somewhere around 20 to 28%.
Perfect. Yep.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, we did miss one, the plunge.
But we're not there yet. That's what.
The reason for not mentioning the plunge is because it's next in the sequence.
Mhm.
The purpose for renovating Sunset and Arroyo is to have pool resources to divert our operations to, while we focus on the matter of the plunge next.
Got it. Thank you.
Can I have a motion then?
I'll move to accept 9.1.
Moved by Director Hatcher,
Second.
second by Director Lamnin. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Great.
And then 9.2, acceptance of individual conservation measures.
Good evening, President Andrade and honorable board members. My name is Monty Boyd, project manager with the district's bond program. Tonight, I'm introducing item 9.2, asking your board to consider the adoption of a resolution to accept the completion of individual energy conservation measures for the energy efficiency project. Back in October 2023, your board approved an agreement with Sizerco Energy Solutions to implement the energy efficiency project. As a quick reminder, this project consists of 9 separate energy conservation measures, or ECMs, at 27 district sites. Early in 2024, work began with Sizerco and their specialized subcontractors for each individual ECM. Now, 7 of the 9 ECMs have been completed as indicated in Exhibit A of my staff report. The final cost for these 7 completed ECMs has been reduced from $9.3 million to $7.2 million via 2 deductive change orders. All invoices have been paid with only the 5% retainage amounts remaining. Your acceptance of the completed ECMs will allow for the release of the retainage payments. The remaining measures have a contract value of 4.9 million and include the solar PV systems and transformer replacements. These are expected to be completed late in 2025. Staff will return to your board for the final project and contract acceptance upon completion of all 9 energy conservation measures. Staff now recommend that the Board of Directors, by motion, adopt a resolution authorizing the general manager to accept individual energy conservation measures as being complete in accordance with plans, specifications, and details for the energy efficiency project, and authorize the general manager to execute the necessary documents to release retention for the 7 completed energy conservation measures. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Monty, could you just add, so that nobody has to do the math, how much money was saved?
That would be $2.2 million.
That's great. That's really great. Yeah, something to be proud of, right?
Yeah.
That is actually, if you recall, the roofs were gonna be bond funded. We pulled it out of the loan for the rest of the energy stuff. So that's actually even cooler for
Yeah.
us.
No, it goes back to the bond.
That's great. Wow. Any comments or questions? Rick?
I mean, so where was the majority of that savings, from?
It was all in the roofing contracts.
So the,
Yeah.
did we overestimate or just come in, I mean?
Being very careful with my words here.
Yeah.
I noticed a discrepancy between the schedule values presented by the contractor and the amounts that they listed in their permit applications. And so I questioned them about that, and it was giving them the benefit of the doubt. It was a race to get the roofing scope added at the last minute to the contract. So I think they went in with a higher number.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just really appreciate the work.
Thank you.
Great.
So a couple questions. So first of all, so the sunset PV system isn't gonna happen at all, or is that out of a different funding pool? It's not gonna happen.
We removed it from the scope. It's a canopy, was going to be a canopy system. Because it's on a school property, we would need to work with the Department of the State Architect. Working with the school district, they have also installed solar out there a few years ago. That they have not closed their project out, meaning we couldn't really go forward with the state architect on our project.
Okay, so that was one. And the other one, so there's 2.2 million in savings. Well, it's not really savings, but it's come out of this. But there's interest savings. That's because we're not doing it off of their loan that they were offering. But so bear with me on this. And so there's a return on investment that had initially been calculated for a certain percentage of I don't know how many years. Have we figured out how much we're actually going to? Do we have an idea about the end of this? Because PG&E rates went up even more than we thought they would. I was going to point out we've saved more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're asking how the reduction in costs?
Well, just all of it. I was thinking that by going to the not using the loan, we saved a bunch for the percent for the interest rates and the.
Yeah.
I'm just.
So we estimated year over year for the 30 years, a very conservative 4 point something % for PG&E increases, and they've been in double digits. So we have not redone that math. I think at the conclusion of the project, it's something I'll sit down with Sizerco and ask them to at least at that point, we'll have a few years of real numbers, and we can see how that changes the metric.
Because what I'm getting at is that at the end of this, that we were thinking 30 years, it's, pay for itself in 15. It may actually now pay for itself in 8.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible.
In all fairness, that's just a point we're not at right now. We're just working on the projects, trying to get them done. They came in under budget, and when everything's done and paid for, and we have a couple of years of energy bills, as Mr. Boyd alluded to, we would be happy to go back and recalculate the savings over time and the payback.
Yeah. And I just know there's a big number out there, and I want us to be very aware of it and share it.
And while I'm standing here, I should mention that we have the million plus in Infrastructure Reduction Act tax credit. Jim reached out to me. He received an email from Weiss Law, and I attended a webinar, and it seems like those are going to be unimpacted due to current political issues.
Excellent.
Yeah,
You're saying-
they're codified in law already and due an act of Congress to repeal.
Right. Anyway, but it's good. We seem to have it. So Director Hodges, you have a question or?
Any comments?
Were you the pilot
Was I the pilot?
for the hard Air Force? The pictures are great.
Oh, no, I was not. The roofing contractor actually flies their own drone.
Our drone is grounded pending FAA licensing for our staff, taking the 20-hour course in the Title 107 test.
Well, great. Yeah, I just want to say, people think of savings or solar savings as just the PV, but actually all the other infrastructure that goes with that, including insulation, is the big part of it.
Yes.
So it's great that we got that done and we saved the money doing that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Could I make a motion?
Sure.
I'd like to accept the individual energy conservation measures for energy efficient project resolution number R-2424-34.
I'll second.
Okay. It was moved by Director Rosen and seconded by Director Hodges. We haven't been asking if there was any comments on the Zoom, but I'm assuming you've been monitoring that.
We don't have any comments, President Andrade.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with that, please vote. Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Okay, then 9.3, approval of budget change for La Vista Park project. Moving ahead slowly, but go ahead.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Directors. Megan Tiernan, Capital Planning and Development Director. So in about 2018, the City of Hayward and the Hayward Area Recreation and Park District launched the La Vista Park project, which is on the east side of Mission Boulevard at the end of Tennyson Road. It is going to be jointly funded by the city and by HARD. The city is managing the project. They hired SDI Landscape Architects to develop the design plans, construction plans. Originally, it was a 30-acre park, but it increased to 50 acres with the addition of some former Caltrans Route 238 property. Since that time, in January of 2025, the city and HARD entered into a memorandum of understanding that outlines the project scope, the budget, and then the financial contributions and responsibilities for each party. The estimated overall budget for the project is about $36 million. The city contribution is about $20.7 million from a variety of sources, including park facility fees, fees collected by the developer of the reserve project, and then some tree mitigation money. HARD's contribution will be $15.4 million. The projects were put out to bid about a year ago. The bids came in high, so the city canceled all bids and then worked on the project to bring down the scope and the budget. They plan to rebid again next week on or at the end of this week, February 21st. We had originally budgeted in the 5-year CIP the $15.4 million, but at one point we transferred some money out of that CIP. So tonight we're requesting that the board actually reallocate some money back in to bring up the total cost to 15.4. And what we're suggesting is that there'll be some savings on the Canyon Middle School project, and to take about $4.7 million from that project. And then the $2 million that Monty just talked about, the savings from the energy efficiency project, to add $8.7 million to this, excuse me, $6.7 million to bring up the total total budget to $15.4 million.
Great. Any comments or questions? Okay, Director Lamnan?
Thank you. I just want to reiterate appreciation for the way the projects have been managed and the funds have been managed, such that we are able to do, not only add to this project, but still be able to address soccer needs in other areas, or know that, you know, when, for instance, Conley Carabello or some of our other projects are ready to go, there will be funds for that as well. So it's just really appreciate the smart management by our staff. Thank you.
No, I'll second that, but any other comments or questions? Director Hatcher?
Yeah, I mean, this kind of became an issue as, you know, a year and a half ago, we were talking about the end of this bond project, and exactly to that point. Not that we found money, but we found money, and that was very strategic to put it in this location and to have it. And I just want to definitely second that allocation and how it was done, and we're doing it. And I think that's the key point, is that we're able to get to a point of finishing the big list of projects for this round. Good job. Is there any more comments?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Nope. So, Director Hodges?
Yeah, is that soccer field is gonna be a catch basin?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a bioretention basin, but it's large enough to hold a soccer field.
So similar,
So it'll-
very similar to other areas. Like you go down in the Central Valley, you get into Fresno, places where water, where it's flat and water runs. There's a lot of flood retention basins that are purposed for fields about 8 or 9 months a year. The goal would be that this could serve as a field for use for soccer 6, 8, 9 months a year, and then in the rainy seasons, maybe even more when it dries out. It just depends on the level of flooding and rain. I'm not sure. You have to probably look. Right now, there's 3 separate retention basins up there. This is going to be one large retention basin, and I don't know how often those get full or how long they stay full, but that's the plan beside, is to have a drain and be able to use it for soccer.
What about the maintenance on that after the rainy season's over and it's been drained?
It would be closed till it's dry, like all of our other fields. When it excessive rain, you press your foot down, you see water come up around your
So-
shoe, we close them. So
Not
that field would
anything
be,
significantly different than the.
no, that field would just, it will drain, and it'll be, the underside of it will be well enough to drain, but the reality is that it's all gonna go into that flood retention basin, and it'll probably exit through some kind of storm drain piping like the current ponds do. They just hold the mass and then they slowly meter it out into the system, and that's probably what's gonna happen up there.
Is that an agreement that we will have to maintain it then?
The MOU for the park is in the packet, and yes, we are going to own all the improvements at that park, and we're gonna maintain them. It's part of the operational agreement. We believe that this park will cost somewhere around $800,000 a year to staff and operate.
Okay, good.
I think what Director Hodges was getting at was, is it going to stay wet so long that the grass will die? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's going to drain out.
This is a
Yeah.
very, very, very common practice
Okay.
in our industry.
All right. Okay. Okay. Director Rosen?
I was just gonna add that it sounds like this is pretty much overflow water. In some areas, they flood irrigate turf, so that's kind of what this is gonna do. It's all natural. It's I mean, are a common issue, and it'll be fine.
If you look at an aerial view of the hillside of the old quarry above the La Vista housing development, there are literally probably 10 valley ditches all interconnected, all running down into the storm system, all running to these flood retention basins. So can I tell you the best part of this project?
The best part of this project is that $6.7 million in park impact fees will come back to the district to fund things like soccer field replacements and other things. And those funds are ours to use, not planned by someone else. And then we nod and say, gee, that's a good idea. So in reality, we are going to get money back that we've had a hard time accessing in the past. So it's very exciting to have those funds. So while the actual measure F1 funds are dwindling, this is kind of like it's even on what we're putting in and what we're getting out for 6.7 million of this project.
Well, that's great to hear. And I just feel like we've been in I just feel like we've been wandering in the fog for the last 7 or 8 years, and we finally have some sunlight, and we're gonna see progress on the project. So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, I will say that this one has been challenging.
Yeah.
I think I've spoken to all of you individually at different times about this project and where we were and how we were feeling and what we were up against. And so it's really nice to see the city and the district come together, working together on such a ginormously funded project. One of our biggest projects, I think, of all the bond projects, including their fee, the impact fees, park impact fees, and our park, future park impact fees. So we're very excited, and it was very, a little rough to get to the finish line on this one.
Kind of ties up a lot of loose ends, so it's really, really great. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve this? Any motion?
Having sat on this project from both sides of the aisle, I'll be happy to move it forward.
Okay. Moved by Director Lambden.
I'll second it.
Second by Director Rosen. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Great. Good to hear. Good to hear. Okay. Okay, new business. Item 10.1, construction contract for Agricultural History Center project.
Good evening again, Honorable Board. Megan Tiernan, Capital Planning and Development Director. So this evening, we're asking the board to approve a construction contract with Suarez and Munoz Construction for the Alameda County Agricultural History Center. We had brought this to the board in November to review the project, and just to remind you, so the proposed outdoor features are at the Meek Estate, adjacent to the carriage house. There'll be a restoration of the historic orchard, a garden area with a seed propagation greenhouse, outdoor educational area, raised garden area with a tool shed, a compost bin. We're going to put ADA accessible pathways to the programmatic features. We've purchased a cargo container for storage. It's already on site. There'll be some perimeter fencing, a wood trellis, irrigation improvements, an area for seasonal row crops, and picnic tables. So we put out the bid in December, and then on February 6th, we received 7 bids ranging from about $319,000 to $567,000. The lowest bid was submitted by Suarez and Munoz for $300,019,726. So staff is recommending that the Board of Directors award the contract to Suarez and Munoz to approve the plan specs and details, and to authorize the general manager to approve change orders up to 10% of the construction contract.
Okay, thank you. Rick, do you have any comments?
Yeah, well, 10 years ago, I sat up here, one of my first meetings, and said, well, I'm not just going to put a farm in every park, but I think it's a good idea because that's how I recreate. And to see, how hard it's embraced, so many kind of newer concepts around what recreation is and continuing to be on the forefront of the care and of that craft. And so it's very, very appreciative to see one of our beloved parks, go that direction, especially one with such, history not only around agriculture, but just the innovation of agriculture. So I think it's going to provide a wonderful opportunity for to youth and adults to continue to see the importance and growth of that on many levels. So Well done.
Thanks. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, and furthermore, no.
I know.
No, it's good stuff. Can't
Um,
wait to get the show.
I just want to make one request. Let's plant a couple of Bing cherry trees. Bing cherry trees. So we have a lot of flowering cherry trees, but it'd be nice in the orchard to have a couple of namesake. I mean, I think that supposedly the legend is that it was invented in at the Meek Estate. So otherwise, can I get a motion?
You're in the trees. I mean, the weeds.
I know, but I just had my prerogative as president this year.
We would be doing a disservice to Meek, the estate, the Agricultural History Center, and everywhere else if we did not have a Bing cherry tree in
Okay.
that orchard.
Okay, thank you. Can I get
I'll move 10.1.
moved by Director Hatcher,
Second.
second by Director Lamnin. And there's no one, no other comments. Okay. With that, please vote. Okay, the motion carries unanimously. Great. Okay. That's the end of our regular agenda. This is for other business informational only reports from board directors and staff. Does anyone care to start? Director Rosen?
Sure. I attended, I can say attended and listened and observed the Cache Valley MAC meeting talking about Ian Louvies along with General Manager Wheeler. We were in the audience. The following night, went to the Eden MAC meeting along with Director Hatcher and General Manager Wheeler, and that was a little more interactive for us. Both of those, it was good to see that both of those were were both of what we were asking for were approved, so that was good. I was also fortunate to go to the Cache Valley Community Center VIP last weekend. I saw Director Hatcher there, or weekend before last, I guess that was. My daughter brought me to this event, and she and her friend did a lot of cleanup for a while. They're looking for volunteer hours to do things, as apparently they're starting that early in middle school now, so that was good. Got to talk to a lot of the staff. Dennis and Kurt and the guys were, the park looks pretty good, so it's good. Yeah, I think those are the only things I have listed.
Okay. Thank you. Director Hodges, nothing? Okay, Director Lamnin?
Thank you. There's been some great events, and I apologize that I wasn't able to go to many of them, but was happy to go to the sort of my last commission meeting as a liaison with Director Hatcher, and just very excited about the ideas that they were coming up with, and it's just a great group. And looking forward to the events that they're planning later in the year. And then also participated in the Eden Youth held a peace walk, just embracing all of our community and making sure everybody knows that everybody belongs here, and was happy to participate in that. Thanks.
Director Hatcher?
Yeah, just on the Hayward Youth Commission, it was a pretty special meeting. There was a presentation done by a newer Public Works director there, last name Louch, and he presented the really kind of the bike plan and had ideas with the youth and incorporating their ideas in the bike plan for the city of Hayward, and the questions that those youth had, and care and consideration of how they crafted those questions about travel and safety. I mean, it was deeper than most adults that I've heard in many situations around the biking pad. So again, exciting to hear about their trip to Sacramento that's coming up. The Youth Commission are the sounding board for the kind of the biking kind of movement that the mayor says a bike city is being proposed. And so I think continuing to stay with the city on how that's evolving. And also there was a presentation by our recreational hospitality and terrorism professor from Cal State East Bay. And so that, yeah. Tourism, sorry, tourism, hospitality. That's right, you know. And so just talking about a lot of the job opportunities, actually the educational opportunities for, you know, a state college that's right up in our neighborhood. So it was a really good presentation by Professor Sandoval. It's unfortunate though, the classes are all online right now. So that's just kind of a tough piece there. And I did attend the EMAC with our general manager and Director Rosen, and just the positive that they did vote in favor of our spending our impact fees. I did attend. I'm on the Hayward Chamber of Commerce Government Relations Committee, and Director Amiri presented one of the largest infrastructure projects that the city of Hayward's ever undertaken for the wastewater treatment facility upgrade of $500,000. And it said it's an incredibly a big deal, and that's a lot of money for the
$500 million or $500 million?
$500 million project, the largest in the city of Hayward ever. And so they're seem to be rather concerned about, you know, that and funding it. They have a 10 years to be able to get that taken care of. And so I thought that was not the first that I heard, but the first that I've heard that they haven't started or getting the funds available for that. And yes, VIPs are always incredible. I was unable to work that event, but good to see staff and all the community together. It's always, I think it's just a marquee event that we have, and really appreciative of our staff for continuing to work that.
And if I'm at the Castro Valley Community Center, it actually had the Hayward Youth Commissioner, or one of our
Volunteer of the month.
volunteer of the year, actually, or wasn't he? Month?
Israel Mendez.
Yeah, it was month, but yes. So he was there, and then as well as our volunteer of the year was also there in the past. Carl. Yeah.
He's at every
Yeah,
month.
exactly. So yeah, it was good.
Okay, that's it.
I attended the Zoom meeting for the Eden Area MAC, and I just want to say Jim did a great job saying what needed to be said, and we got it passed. And I think we got one more to do, right? The Fairway.
We have
Fairview.
I emailed with Albert today. Fairview Mac is on March 4th, and we
Okay.
will be in attendance there.
Okay. And I just want to say I'm glad that well, I said it before, but I'll say it again, the La Vista is on its way. That's going to be a good project. And I have nothing else to say, so staff.
President Andrade, Honorable Board of Directors, Jim Wheeler, General Manager, do not have a lot to report to you tonight. We have 2 of our 4 standing committee meetings taking place next week. We'll have capital and planning on Tuesday at 12:30. And we have personnel on Tuesday at 2:15. The other 2 have no business to advance for you. But you'll see some of the stuff that have come out of those last standings, like the alcohol policy and other things move forward. I do need to tell you that our study sessions and our closed sessions, because of upcoming labor negotiations, are stacking up. So we don't like to start before 4, but you might see some 4 o'clock starts as we bring in some. We have Martin Roush coming in next month to talk about board policy, staff policy, all that kind of stuff and interaction. And then we have the alcohol policy to bring to you. We have other open session items, 2024 Park and Rec annual report, giving you a peek of that. So there's a lot on these upcoming agendas before the meetings, which is a lot for everyone, I know, and I apologize, but it's kind of a good sign. Things are actually moving forward pretty well. I think I'll defer to my staff for the rest. I will be out Friday afternoon this week, but available. Nothing. Budget, talk about budget.
Honorable board members, good evening. I am helping to coordinate our annual budget process. So we are meeting on Thursday with Drew Corbett, who's our outside consultant, who's going to help put together the budget. And we will be back later on this soon, in a few months, to report back on the budget process.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Directors. Chris Peterson, Parks and Facilities Maintenance Director. One quick update for you tonight. So the skate park project that you guys had approved a little while back, all 4 of the sites are finished. We've just got one inspection on Mervyn Moore's. The guys are, I don't know if they made it out today, if not tomorrow. Final inspection on that, but other than that, they're all completed. And
That's
so we'll
great.
probably bring an item back to you for the completion, once we get it all wrapped up. But, so that's kind of exciting news for us.
And we are looking forward to using Placer Eye to see if the visits to those parks with new skate parks increases.
Great, great.
Adrian Lee Bird, Director of Recreation, Arts and Community Services. So we had a full house at the DMT this past Saturday for Stella Heath and the Starlights. She was singing songs from Ella Fitzgerald. They had appetizers and roses for a romantic evening out. So that was really nice. And this Friday, we actually have our next teen event. We have 40 teens registered for Flower Power at Sorensdale. It's a baking competition. And that was really popular last year as well. On Saturday, we'll have mobile recreation at San Felipe Park and another VIP at Rancho Arroyo. They're going to do a park cleanup as well as a field kind of update before baseball season. And then tomorrow we are starting summer camp registration as well as spring registration, and I will have some news about that after tomorrow for next year. So thank you.
Great.
Megan Tiernan, Capital Planning and Development Director. In addition to the other things we brought to the board, we closed on the acquisition of the property at 1797 D Street on the 13th. So we are the proud owners of that property.
Great. Yeah, new owners, yeah. Okay.
Good evening, President Andrade and Honorable Board of Directors. All of the fund dates and information will be coming to you in your newsletter this week. If you guys did not check your email for the invitation for the State of the City that was sent to me from the mayor to invite all of you to that event. And if you just let us know if you're coming via the meeting request, we'll go ahead and RSVP for you. And that's all I have.
And the date of the State of the City is that March 13th at 6 o'clock at the new Hayward Theater?
It's Tuesday, March 11th, starting at 6 p.m. and it will be at the Hayward Unified School District Performing Arts Center.
Where's that located?
Um,
Oh, Mount Eden? Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
in Hayward.
I got it.
Yeah.
In Hayward.
No, it's at the high school.
Yeah, it used to be our swimming pool. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I know it is. Okay, there's no other items on the agenda and no other comments. I'm gonna close this meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ladna and Kayla.